This unusual and miraculous event happened after the death of the prophet Elisha, who was one of the greatest prophets in Israel's history. He was the successor to Elijah, and God used him to perform many miracles, including healing the sick, multiplying food, and even raising a dead child. However, this final miracle occurred after Elisha had already died. Elisha eventually died and was buried in a tomb, as was the custom in ancient Israel. His death marked the end of an era, but his prophetic legacy lived on. Sometime after Elisha's burial, a group of Israelites was in the process of burying another man. However, at that time, bands of Moabite raiders would often invade Israel during the spring, the time when kings typically went to war. While these Israelites were performing the burial, they saw a group of Moabite raiders approaching. Fearing for their lives, they hurriedly threw the dead man's body into the nearest available tomb, which happened to be Elisha's. In their rush, they likely didn't even realize what would happen next. As soon as the dead man's body touched Elisha's bones, he immediately came back to life and stood up on his feet. The Bible doesn't give details about his reaction or what happened to him afterward, but the miracle itself is extraordinary. Why is this story so intriguing? 1. Power even in death. This is the only biblical account where a prophet's bones rather than a living person brings someone back to life. It demonstrates that God's power was still present in Elisha, even after his physical death. 2. Foreshadowing of resurrection. Some scholars see this as a foreshadowing of the resurrection power later seen in Jesus Christ, who also raised the dead and ultimately conquered death himself. 3. An unintentional miracle. Most miracles in the Bible involve prayer, faith, or a direct action by a prophet or Jesus. However, in this case, the resurrection happened accidentally, simply by contact with the bones of a prophet. 4. A message to Israel. At this time, Israel was in spiritual decline, and Elisha's miracles were meant to remind them of God's power and faithfulness. This event may have served as a final sign that God was still with his people, even in dark times.